making your way in the world today. You really need a pod. Why don't you put your headphones in and give this one a shot? Wouldn't you like to just listen away and go to a place where everybody knows who you are? Listen to two guys brew, ha ha. Cold Street Brewery and Full Buddy Cast, two of the greatest names. Why don't you go and listen to this episode? All right, everyone, thanks so much for listening to the episode of Full Buddy Cast presents Brew Ha Ha with Sean McDonald, Cold Street Brewery, 1627 Cold Street, Enumclaw, Washington, 98022 dash 40.
I don't know, they always try and add extra stuff on there. That's why I just let the computer finish it.
Yeah.
Man, you should have tuned in just like 2 minutes ago. I had a nice zinger.
He had a nice zinger for Corey.
I was bringing the ha-ha.
Already ha-ha'ing. We're pouring beers right now. What is this beer I'm looking at right now?
Well, this beer is called, I had a customer. He ordered growlers the night before because I was out of them. I ran out of it that night before, so I had to bring it down from the brewery the next day. And he wanted to make sure that the growlers were full before he got there.
Yeah.
But then I wasn't there. Emily was there, and she filled up different growlers. So, me being a cheap ass that I am.
What type of beer is this?
I don't know. You tell me. You've probably had it before.
Dude, it is got sprouts in it.
Sprouts in it? What are you talking about?
Look at
you sure it wasn't in a glass?
Look at the top. No, it wasn't. Look at the top.
I'll trade you. Those aren't sprouts.
What are they?
They're seeds, dumbass.
Oh.
Take a sip and figure it out.
Peach mango.
Does peach or mango have seeds?
I thought peaches have... Oh, wait.
It has pits.
Oh, is it strawberry? Strawberry blonde.
Yeah.
Yum.
And those are strawberry seeds. Kind of hard to get rid of all of them. They get stuck in there.
I'm not against it. Is that something that we don't want to advertise?
No, you're just scared. You're scared.
Dude, I am. I am a scared guy. This is a kombucha. I thought you were talking about kombucha or kombucha. No, I'm kidding.
I do have some. Emily, when she was down in California, she went to White Labs and she brought back some. I forget what that's called. It's mother essentially, but I forget what they call their base. But I have some to make some kombucha. But that's just another animal that I haven't taken on yet.
Not yet.
No,
but one day maybe.
Yeah.
So this is the beer of the week. Now, did you have a freezer go out one day, and so then?
No. So my ex-business partner, Eric, he has a very large strawberry patch, and anybody that's ever raised strawberries, if you pick them, they come back. Now, you want the first ones. You want to get them kind of nice and good and plump and pink. Because those are going to be the best tasting ones, and they start to water down and get a little less flavor into the season. But that being said, you can, like, his patch is, I don't know, it's like 20 yards wide, and it's got a lot of strawberries in it. So that's something that you guys brewed, and then you kept it going. Yeah. Maintain that strawberry patch. He doesn't really use them.
So you go out there and grab those each year. Into the mic.
It's super. I wasn't saying anything.
No, I'm just saying, like...
It's super popular.
There we go.
It's because I got this new chair that wiggles behind me.
It's true. Sean is sitting in a new spot that... basically, while I was recording the Dad How Do I podcast, my laptop just crashed. And it was the second time it crashed. So I said, forget this. I grabbed my desktop computer and my monitor and just brought it out here.
I know. It looks like I'm on a radio show at like KISW or something.
It does.
I'm surprised there isn't like 20 other people in here.
There should be.
Yeah, there should be.
Just groupies.
It'd bring the ha-ha a little bit.
Bring more of the ha-ha.
What's your joke?
My joke for my ha-ha? What did the fish say when he swam into a cement wall?
It's a salmon joke, isn't it? Slam.
Damn.
Ha!
That.
Slam damn.
Slam damn. I like that though. That's the Sean Kemp one. How you been, man? I feel like it's been a bit. We've been busy.
Yeah.
You said you had 4 weddings and a funeral. You said you had some
funerals, weddings,
weddings and what
all
else?
kinds of stuff. And there's all kinds of fun stuff going into the springtime, into the summertime. So we've been super lucky with 2020. our city allowing us to shut down the street, Cole Street, and putting out fire tables and that sort of
So
thing.
that's still going on?
It is.
Okay.
Every week from Friday to Sunday, starts 2 p.m. Fridays, and we open it back up like 7 p.m. Sundays. And we also in 2020, we were super lucky because a lot of people that are in bands or singers, they didn't have any places that they could go because everything was shut down. But we have an outdoor stage. It's 100 feet from any person, so we had the whole spacing. So we'd have great bands coming out because they just wanted to get out and play, and they were playing for free. Then 2021, things started opening up. Some of those bands started getting regular gigs that actually pay them, so obviously they want to go where the money is. We tried to pick up a few bands here and there, but we overall didn't have every weekend booked. So looking to change that this year. But the problem that we are running into is prices of bands have grown exponentially. Like they're
because
huge.
Russia used to import all of our bands.
Well, part of it is also gas money too. So anybody that's coming from out of state or out of town, like the big bands that are going to the Expo Center, they are actually asking to be put up in the hotels. If we're coming into the town, we're staying in town.
Yeah. No more driving back to Federal Way and hanging out.
And that boosts up the price of a band quite a bit. A whole band, 5-6 members, whole hotel rooms plus paying them. That's really expensive. We're not looking for that. But I'm just throwing it out there because going into the summertime, it's always great to have live music. Yeah. But we're looking for some donations. We used to get bands for about $400. 2021, they're like $500, $600. This year, they're closer to $800 or $900.
Yeah.
So that's a big gap. Obviously, myself and the Rainier and the Mint, Bridges Boutique, the new game store, we're all pitching in to throw some money into the pot, but it's still a lot of money every week. So we're setting up a donation fund for that. That's the first part of what's been keeping me busy is I've lined up. I already have 30 or so bands lined up. We're going to start music for sure in June through September. We're going to have a band for the first cruise, which is May 6th, Friday the May 6th. That's actually going to be a really big weekend. The cruise is on Friday. The very next day is the C10 truck show. We had them last year. It didn't really get publicized all that much. And it was still a big turnout. It was kind of like a rainy-ish day, so it wasn't sure if it was going to go down or not. This time it's getting really publicized. It doesn't matter if it's raining or not. There's going to be a lot of people in town with really cool trucks. So,
are they shutting down again? That like they do for the cruise? Are they gonna?
So for the cruise is on Friday night. They're gonna cruise around the block, straight down Cole Street and around, and then down Railroad. I'm not sure which way. Washington Railroad, and then back on the Cole and around in a circle until about 8 o'clock. Then we're gonna shut that down. We're going to have a band start playing, and then there's going to be dancing in the street.
Dancing in the street.
Of course,
I like it.
Antique
I'm already
cars.
there.
Those people are all into it. And then the C10 truck show, they're going to start parking trucks. And the whole Cole Street from one side to the other is going to be all trucks.
I remember going down there last year, and I was surprised how early and how quick it fills up. And you guys, if you guys are going to come down, there's plenty of parking in other areas, but just so you know,
downtown, no,
it's gonna be very packed.
Yeah.
So just know that getting into town,
I'd say park at like QFC and then walk over. That's a pretty safe bet. That parking lot.
Yeah, QFC or maybe Mutual Vino Claw or some other areas there. So
the bigger parking lots that are open on Saturday. But that's the first weekend. That's going to be a big weekend, but that's still, that's that weekend and nothing really kind of around it. Mother's Day, we're going to do Bad Mom's Night Out. But music officially starts June, and then we will have music every Saturday and every Sunday. Fridays are going to be kind of fill-ins if the band gets rained out the week before. They're going to come back on the Friday. Kind of rotate that through.
So wait, I'll tell you about Bad Mom's Night Out. Is that same night?
No, that's the Saturday before Mother's Day.
That would be May 7th.
Oh.
Mother's Day is May 8th.
Wait, hold on.
It's okay.
Well, I have that date somewhere on
You're
here.
fine. I've got my daily planner out. Shout out my daughter Megan, who buys me this every year.
I know. I walked in and he is way more organized than I am, and that is not normal.
That never happens. I'm still in my sweats though.
It's gonna be the first time and the last time, I bet.
Sean just breaks my computer, just like, you know what? And then while you're pulling that up, it has cruise. I know that you're in the conversation, right? You're in the conversation, but you think it's going to be a little bit lighter? Those are gas guzzlers. Gas is up.
That is a good point. I think the first couple are going to still be big. I think it's later in the summer but a lot of those people are local, like in town, so they aren't going that far. The people that are traveling from like Everett, I don't think we're going to see those
as much. So it'll still be it'll still be there. In fact, if you've probably been intimidated and coming down before that, this might be actually a good opportunity, since those people that are coming from farther areas may not be joining as much. Then you can go pull your like what I did one year and took the Chevy Spark through and just windows downed it for a bit, and I was only on there for one loop.
Oh, so Mom's Night Out is the next weekend.
Okay, so
there
the
are
14th.
There are two events on that day. There's going to be the bingo, spring bingo from the Chamber of Commerce, and Bad Mom's Night Out.
I hope they called it Springo. If they don't call it Springo, I'm a little bit upset.
You should mail that in.
I want to mail that one in. Springo. And they're like, is that like Slingo, the scratch ticket? I'm like, no, it's like Spring Bingo.
Yeah, we got a lot of exciting things where there's a lot of different smaller groups that are kind of getting together, and we're trying to plan out some stuff. Again, because we're looking at gas prices, if they're so high right now, come Memorial Day, there's always 30% hike in prices, so it's going to be so just stay in town.
Stay in town, hang out, walk on down here.
But that does bring up the service announcement that I've been working pretty diligently on. This is a really tough subject. So again, during 2020 and 2021, it's been pretty lenient on a lot of different things, but it's going to get clamped down on a lot of different things. One of the main things is drinking in public. So I've always put out a very large beer garden. It's got yellow chains all around it.
Right.
And I put out signage that says, no open container beyond this point.
Right.
Open containers inside this beer garden. But people, they see the fire tables or they see the picnic table across the street and it's open, and they want to go out there and sit at those tables. Our police force has been great. They aren't trying to cause any problems. If there isn't a problem, they're not causing one. Right. So that's why they've kind of stayed hands off. In the 2 years that we've had this going on, the open street and that sort of thing, we've only had one incident. Mm-hmm. Somebody got a little loud and they had to come down and kind of chase them off. That one incident in 2 years is pretty darn good. Yeah. We've policed it ourselves and made sure there's no minors drinking and that sort of thing. But the state of Washington, their liquor laws are still pretty old liquor laws. So they have a lot of concerns with that, and the Washington State Liquor Control is going to be enforcing it and giving tickets. So
now, does that mean tickets to the individual, or does that mean tickets to the businesses?
It's going to be both.
Oof.
So that's where I've been working very diligently and kind of arguing from my standpoint of, adults do adult things. Mm-hmm. I ask them to do something, but at what point do I walk up and pour their drink out if they're not drinking within my bounds?
Right.
It's a really touchy subject. But my main point is, if you're going to be drinking downtown, drink behind the yellow chains in a designated beer area,
please,
because you will get a ticket. And if you're taking a beverage from me, I'm going to get a ticket as well for not enforcing that.
And the main thing, and that may be something that needs to get posted even more than just on here. I mean, just kind of out there, because it would suck to ruin the fun, especially if your beer garden. Great view of where the band's going to be playing.
Yeah,
so you just sit in that area, grab some seats, grab some beers, and just enjoy it.
Well, this year we are going to do something a little different. We're working with the brand new Axe Bar that's at the other end of Cool Street.
Right.
And they're going to set up a stage on their side as well. And so what we're going to do is we're going to rotate open, close, right?
See, that's great. That's cool.
So one Saturday I'll have the open and they'll have the close band, and vice versa. We'll just rotate.
So is the liquor board still okay with to-go drinks.
No. So that's the other thing. There is no such thing as single serving to go anymore. So I used to just give a cup that had a lid on it and you could go and drink it wherever. There's no such thing as that anymore. If it's manufacturally like a can or a bottle, I can sell that.
But like a growler,
but in a 6-pack. Well, in a 6-pack.
Oh, okay.
And then I can sell a growler.
Gotcha.
But the growler is, so I'm selling it to you in the assumption that you're to going somewhere other than right outside.
Right.
As soon as you walk out and you open it, that's an open container, and you can get ticketed for that. So
okay. All right. So
the only option is to drink in the beer gardens. That's the only option to drink out on the street.
And then, are you going to have where the parking usually, like you have that 2-person or that 2-car parking area?
During the cruise?
During the cruise.
Yeah. Yep. I have 3 parking spots.
Yeah. Okay. 3 parking spots. You got the yellow chains. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah. And plus right in front of my building, in front of the windows. I'm trying to expand that. That's not a for sure, but I should be expanding that all the way to the corner.
Oh, cool.
So
working with the
wellness, the Rainier Wellness.
Right on. Okay, cool. Well, the thing is that we all kind of, went through this pandemic together. We've adjusted, and this, I would say, concerning all the adjustments, if you would have been told this is what your adjustment is 2 years ago, it would have been like, yeah, okay, we can do that.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Nothing's really changed. This is how it was.
Right.
We just got used to how it became.
Right.
So,
and this isn't that big of an adjustment. Just don't drink at the fire pits.
Yeah,
I'll
have fire pits in my beer garden.
Yeah,
but,
and
not all the fire pits.
But not all the fire pits, and don't drink there. And just know that you're not a friend at that point of
It's also a pretty large ticket. It's an $80 ticket.
Yeah,
so
you're not
per beverage.
Yeah, you're not a friend of if you want to be supportive, stick to the rules with it. And there's plenty of room inside.
Oh yeah,
that's the other thing. You go to these cruises, it's fun. It's fun to hear the loud engines, but you go inside and you can still see. There's big, large windows. Yeah,
on the really hot days, I got nice AC.
Yeah,
that's also one thing that I've been wanting to do, but I've been so busy on Fridays and Saturdays. Is I wanted to wander around with you and put a little app on our phone about like a sound measuring app.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Because if you come into my place, I could have 60 people in there. And it's still pretty quiet.
Very quiet, yeah.
If you go next door to the Rainier, you got crashing plates, you got all this stuff. And then even if you go to some of the other sipping establishments, it's kind of the same thing. So I just wanted to go around to each place and kind of just measure.
Get the decibel level. I like that. I know that, the other thing you're going to get with Cole Street is you're not going to have loud music playing. We have to shout to your neighbor and try to talk over them, and it just creates a louder environment.
Yeah.
It's a nice, especially if you enjoy there's board games, there's card games. Me and my wife go down there. Let me tell you this real quick. So we're going to go to Vegas, but prior to Vegas, we like to play cribbage. And I know you're a big cribbage fan. Mm-hmm. Where we will I'm playing for Thursday night. I get to choose the dinner, and she plays for. So we kind of plan our vacation based off of who wins cribbage. And we went down there the other night, and Chris was there. He was pouring, and it was me and Jamie. We were just having beers, and she was having some wine, and we played about 4 games of cribbage and helped plan our Vegas trip. And it's a great environment. I mean, I haven't said this much, but when I really haven't. Sometimes when you are thirsty, you'll drink anything. Or if you're hungry, you'll eat anything. Or if you need work, you'll do anything. When I was doing the podcast and said, hey, go find people that you may know in the community who you like. If you're doing, maybe get some beer and talk about the beer, and then, have your Joey podcast or have your whatever podcast. That's kind of how this originally started. Now, I didn't know Sean. I knew of Sean, and I knew mutual friends that like Sean. So if I like these mutual friends, then I'm probably going to like Sean as well. I tell you this, I lucked out. Like, I was hungry. I wanted a sponsor. I wanted to do things in the community. I wanted to be, how can we grow Full Buddy Cast? How can we make an impact? How can we have fun? How can we pick people? And And this was one of those things where I didn't really know Sean that well. I've been to Cole Street Brewery a few times. I didn't know he was moving to the Courier building. This was just kind of how things all fell into place, and I couldn't be more happier. Okay, I couldn't be more happier to be a part of just watching the growth of Cole Street continue to grow, to see Sean adjust from one pandemic curveball after another pandemic curveball, continue to brew, continue to see what he could do to help the community. And it's just been a lot of fun sitting there and just being a part of it, seeing what he does. So anyway, that's my little shout out. Okay, this isn't. Yeah.
Cheers.
Joe, cheers. There we go. Yeah. So anyway, happy as a clam. So anyway, I don't know. Hope I didn't derail you on what you were wanting to talk about there, but
no, that's kind of my quick shout out about what's going on with that.
Okay.
Yeah, obviously it's springtime, going in springtime, still showery, and then looking at the summertime and just trying to get ideas together.
Sure.
We're always looking for volunteers too. All kinds of different levels of volunteers, once a week, just a couple of hours, just ideas. Yeah.
So are you umping?
Yeah.
Are you busy? Do you have like 4 of you right now?
I wish I could mold myself. So I umped a little mini tournament 2 weekends ago. But I don't get on full schedule until May, like mid-May. So I still have a couple months or a month and a half before I really have to start thinking about it.
Have you hired anyone for this busy season? I know you posted about it.
I have. I've posted about it. I've gotten 4 people that have responded.
Nice.
They haven't been in for interviews yet, so I'm still kind of, hopeful.
Right.
Yeah. It's obviously it's tough finding staff right now. Everybody's hiring.
Right.
I mean, Pursuit opened their little tap room this last weekend. And then Griffin Brewing just opened. So we have a couple new places on top of the fact that there's old places that are still not fully staffed.
Right.
Going into the summertime, we all need bodies. So
yeah, especially. I know that when you probably see these things on the calendar, you're as a business owner, as a brewer, it's like, all right, that's going to be some money coming in.
Yeah.
But then and then in my mind, because I've rode this wave a few times watching him, it's busy. And Sean puts the mouthpiece in when it comes on and he's focused. He keeps the lines down. We've talked about his biggest pet peeve is a line.
Yeah.
And so he's focused on keeping those lines down, keeping people moving. And, so it's...
I have a brand new idea on that. We're still testing it. It's still in prototype stages, but everybody during COVID, they switched the QR codes where you use your phone and all that. So I have established a QR code where you can get it on your cell phone and you put it on there and you start a tab on your cell phone. And then you can go on there and you can choose whatever beers you'd like and you order it. And then we have our little side window and you order it and then we have a ticket for it. We put the ticket on it and then you can come and pick up your beers. So you can order from outside and we'll have people that will beer run too. But obviously it's even quicker if you can come in and just snag it yourself.
Yeah.
And that'll definitely cut down on the lines. So that's a little added thing that we're still working the bugs out to make sure it works.
I like that. That's innovative. That's good. Now, if I'm sitting at home and I just happen to have a QR code because I frequent the place,
it dies after a certain amount of time. If you haven't bought a beer within 2 hours, it sends you a notice and says, "Hey, you haven't bought it in a while. Would you like to rebuy?" And then if you don't respond within 15 minutes, it just tabs you out.
Oh, okay. What I was thinking was, really? Okay.
Yeah. And each QR code is unique to, as soon as you start that tab, it's unique to yourself. So even if somebody picks up that little piece of paper or that little flyer and QR codes, they're starting their own little tab. They can't tag onto your tab. That was another security thing that we had concerns with, but we've tested it.
Tested a few times. Well, I'd love to come in there and test it with you just for fun.
But it's also nice. I don't have to hold on to cards.
Yeah.
And like I said, if you forget to pay, it pays for me. It pays for you. So you don't ever just leave a tab open. So it saves me a lot. It also saves me a body. I mean, an extra hand back there pouring beers.
Right. And that's what I was wondering, if I could take a QR code home and just leave, and then every time I want a growler, I can just order it and then walk down there and get it. Can I order?
You can always call it forward.
I guess that's a good question. And I can call ahead. You have a phone line there, or I call you directly, or like what's the
phone line is directly to me right now.
Okay. So I go to Facebook right now. It says telephone.
You can do that too.
It's your phone number.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if you want a prank call,
which way? Yeah. No, I'm pretty. Yeah. It sorts it out. It is a message service, but
oh, I gotcha. Okay. Dang it. Well, we're coming up on spring break.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we've ever tackled this conversation. A few of these times I've thought about this. I've thought, well, maybe we've talked about this, but again, we've done a ton of episodes. It's always good to revisit memory lane.
Yeah.
Spring break. Is there a spring break that just kind of jumps out at you? Did you ever go crazy spring? Did you ever do like the?
Well, in high school, I remember the first sunny day every year from about sophomore in high school until senior. First sunny day, big hot sunny day. Everybody jump in the rigs and we'd fly out to Lake Walker, and we'd get there, right after school's out. Right. So it's 2:30, 3 o'clock, and we'd swim across the lake and we'd hop on those docks. I don't even know who owned those docks, but they weren't home. So we'd just go, you'd swim. The whole goal was to swim across the lake and then get over there and then just hang out. And I mean, I'd still remember that to this day. And the first sunny day of the spring, I always think about it. I'm like, I wonder if anybody else is swimming across that lake, because it's still pretty darn cold.
Yeah, super cold.
It's a deep lake. So
yeah.
And then kind of the same thing as, Memorial Day weekend was always like head over to the dunes,
Yeah.
I'm not a big four-wheeler or
quad
dirt or any,
yeah.
but I'd go over there just to hang out and have fun. And
me too.
It was always a great time. And so many people over there, like, from past high school people to, current high school people.
Yeah.
During high school.
That's what my daughter, she's graduating this year. And I was like, any plans for spring break? In my head, like, as much as, I'm a dad, I don't want to encourage like crazy behavior. I also know that they're high schoolers and they want to go out and do crazy behavior.
Yeah.
And so, it's kind of one of those like fine lines that you kind of like do as a dad. But I remember, so when we were in high school, we went to the dunes, or we called it the potholes. I don't know if it was, no, we went to the potholes.
Yeah, potholes.
And for a spring break, and we stayed there for like 2 or 3 nights. Now, I'd been on the Eastern Washington side of things quite a bit growing up, because my dad loved to fish. My mom and dad loved to fish. And so we would go to Deep Lake, Sun Lakes. We'd go to, and not Deep Lake here. I'm talking, there's a Deep Lake
off of Sun Lakes.
Yeah, off of Sun Lakes. And then there was also Lake Lenore and a few other areas.
Lenore Cutthroat.
Yeah.
They're about ready to spawn. Probably, 2 weeks. Yeah.
There you go. So that's what I was a part of. Now, we went to the potholes. I thought they were nearby each other, and they're actually
Sun Lakes and potholes.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
they're a ways.
They're quite a ways. I didn't know that. And there was this one place called, I cannot remember this lake. It was near Sun Lakes. It was kind of it was down a gravel road or dirt road for like, I swear, 30 minutes. Like, you would drive 30 minutes on a gravel road. You'd get there. You'd then go across this lake, and then you would pick your boat up out of the water, because it was, aluminum boats or whatever. And then you would walk it like 20 yards and then put it into another lake. That other lake, you'd always catch fish. Huh. Some of it was muddy tasting. In fact, one time we had when I was out there with my uncle and my cousins, large swarm of bees. we heard a humming, and we didn't know what the heck that humming was. And we look up, and it's just bees just coming right over our heads, like going, and they kept going. Thankfully,
they're trying to find someplace.
Yeah. Oh man, it was like, do we dive in the water here?
So I have some funny stories on that too.
Wait, the bees one?
No.
Okay, let me finish this one. Okay. So I tell these guys that I went with, I'm like, hey, you can catch a fish here. I guarantee it. We don't have any boats, but I know this lake well enough. Didn't know where it was at, but I knew this lake well enough where we could catch a fish. I said, if we don't, I'll buy everyone's dinner. Oh. So we take Justin Heater's little brother. What's his name?
One of the twins?
No, younger brother. Dane.
Oh.
Dane Heater.
Oh, yeah.
And then a couple other guys. We go there. We didn't tell anyone we were leaving. We didn't realize that was going to be a problem. So we drive to where I thought would be like a half hour away. It was hours away. And then we get there. We fish for a while off this second lake, catch nothing, spend all day just getting there. We get there. We drive back. We get back, and it's like night. And Dane gets out of the car with us. We were like, and I bought everyone's dinner. I think I actually bought fish at the store, and we're going to cook it up on the fire. But we didn't know this. But Justin didn't know where Dane was at. Called his parents. So then they get the sheriffs involved. There's helicopters and a search party trying to find Dane. This story evolved so much to where I work with Rachel Heater, and down the road, she told me this gets told at every campfire, every family gathering. When Dane we thought he got drug off by an animal, or maybe
don't wander off without telling somebody.
And so I didn't know this. His grandparents, wherever they were at, California or wherever, Arizona. They were flying back midair when they found out that Dane had, that Dane was safe. And that's before cell phones and texting and all that. So it was like they land thinking that their young grandson, who's like, I think he was like a freshman. We were seniors or whatever. Anyway, so that was that sucked because we got the good old talking too.
Even if you had a cell phone, they don't work out.
Yeah, so exactly. Good point.
Yeah,
great point. Yeah. So sorry. No, what's your?
Well, mine's a little funnier than that. So
mine was tragic almost.
There's a lot of lakes that are kind of like that, especially you're talking like the potholes. There's what's called the Frenchman Wasteways. So potholes is a reservoir, and it has a dam, and it regulates its water. Well, a lot of times they kind of have to overflow it somewhere, so they overflow it into wasteways. So there's Winchester Wasteways, there's Frenchman's Wasteways, there's a couple different wasteways. And the only reason why they have water is if there's too much water. So it gets shallow and it gets deep a lot. And what happens is that's how those lakes get developed. So, at one part of the year, it's completely flooded. The next part, there's just little ponds everywhere. Yeah. And fish get caught in these different ponds. So it's great because if you're especially like a spiny ray, really like warm water. So they love that shallow water that's kind of drying up. They could be killing themselves, but they love it. And so you go out there and you fish these lakes, but the real problem is it's also wildlife area. So there's lots of deer, and there's porcupines, there's all kinds of animals out there. And one thing that a lot of people don't realize on the east side that animals bring is they bring the ticks. And I'll tell you, the funniest times that I've had are on a boat when somebody finds a tick on them, because then they go, "Oh crap," and they start stripping. Yeah, you're in the middle of the lake,
and you're just tossing,
and somebody like takes off their shirt, and you're like, "Oh, they're hot," and then they start unbuttoning their pants and zipping and dropping their drawer, and you're like, "Whoa!" And they're like, "Hey, tick check." You're like, "Oh shit, there's a tick on the boat," and you're like, "Oh no, there's a tick on me." And once you get that idea in your head,
every little thing
itches. You feel something moving. You're like, "Oh, is that a tick?" And it's bad because when you go through those weeds and those wasteways, you can go through the weeds, and if you stop and you just glance, and you'll see those little ticks. They'll be hanging off a leaf, and they'll just have their little hook out there, and you're like, "Oh,
just
there's
waiting.
There's ticks."
Yeah.
And sometimes there's like 5 or 6 on one branch. You're like, "Holy crap! If there's that many ticks right there, we don't want to go in that area at all." So that means every bush in there is just covered in ticks.
Yeah.
Ugh, ticks.
Thanks a lot.
I've been super lucky. I've never had a tick.
Ever.
Knock on wood. I've had ticks on me dozens of times, but I've never had one bury in me yet.
Yeah, had any friends have it happen?
Oh, yeah, plenty. The ones that, it's fine. I used to be that way. It's fine. Let them do that. But no,
Nope,
not me. I'm kind of a hairy guy, so that,
Yeah, they get in there.
Well, I think that helps that I can feel them, because they have to, they move through the hairs, and they feel the hair moving. I'm like, "What is that?
Dude,
take it off."
Yeah.
And I'm not shy. Like, if there's a tick on me, I'm stripping.
Can you drown a tick? Can you like just jump in the water and?
No, those things they'd live through anything. I swear.
Yeah,
I you can even try and smash the damn things. I swear they come back
indestructible.
Yeah.
I had someone tell me, this is back in the day. It might have been my dad, because he lived down south, and you can get a tick, and he said he remembers people just taking cigarettes and just burning them off. Yeah,
I've seen that. Yeah.
So
get it off. And
now I'm itching my leg over here.
Yeah. I just remember that. You know, when you're in an aluminum boat and you're like, then you start looking around and you see them all on the ground. You're like, there are ticks everywhere.
And they're all looking at you going, there's the money source.
Yeah, and screaming like little girls, and just like the mouse on the floor, standing as high on the seat as you can. Like, no, we got to get to shore, get me out of the boat. I got to dump the boat.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, no, I always kind of look at my life and I'm like, I could probably survive naked and afraid. And then I realized that within probably an hour, I'd never.
Yep.
I would
tap out.
I'm done.
I'm done. Nope, this is no fun.
Yeah.
You miss the amenities too much.
Too much. Wi-Fi goes out and I'm ready to freaking punch a wall. Like I'm Andy Bernard. Well, we're getting to that time. Is there any shout outs you got?
Yeah, I want to shout out Bridget from Bridget's Boutique.
Yeah.
You know, she's been a centerpiece of downtown Enumclaw for a long time. I don't shop girls clothing, and you know, I know it's on the spendier side, so I've been in there a couple of times, but not shopping, just popping in my head in. So I don't really know it from that side, but it's really popular. She always has those light blue bags, so I see them wandering around all the time. They're always being brought into my brewery and that sort of thing. But the reason why I'm shouting her out is she's just always been super active in all these different events downtown, trying to get things going. And she's helped me out a lot through the wintertime. I haven't really asked so much for volunteers to do the fire tables and that sort of thing. And so she's taken it upon herself. Obviously, I do the late night, closing it down at 11. She's there first thing in the morning, 8 in the morning, to unstack all the chairs, light all the fires back up. And then she's also out there moving those propane cans that I know weigh half as much as she does, and she's still yanking them around. So she's just always been great. I've known her for a long time, and she's always been a really fun woman and really involved. But just seeing her in action is just, you know, big shout out to her. If you are into shopping, that sort of girly boutique stuff, she has a great shop, from what I hear.
That's good. That's awesome. Yeah, I know that I've been in there a couple times. You know, it's I get intimidated by some of those places. They have some cool Casey Kane stuff up there too.
Oh, they do. Yeah, a lot of collectors. Yeah, she's a Kane. So
yeah, I guess that makes sense then. Yeah. My shout out. You know, I don't know when we did it, Sean. It was a while ago. Obviously, it was about a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years. I mean, it was right around when the pandemic kicked off, and you had given a shout out about Courtney Wheeler. And you know, how she was battling some health issues, and you know, my heart goes out to her. Obviously, at that time it did, and then to find out that she did pass.
She passed away recently. Yeah.
Recently, that was rough, and she was so nice. You know, I'd see her at the Rainier. I'd see her at
she was at Griffin and Wells.
At Griffin and Wells,
she worked at the health bar.
Yeah, she was everywhere. Always a giant smile on her face. Her wonderful daughter Lucy, I got to meet her when we were down there at the back when, I don't know if you'll remember, but anyone that's listening, they had the pods. They had the pods out in front of your spot that had, you know, where you could kind of reserve it
and sit inside when it's cold out.
When it was cold out, yeah. And so I got to sit down with her and her daughter and a few others. We just kind of shared that pod, and you know, she was just so nice, just such a fun, funny, caring, thoughtful, and I'll always remember just how always had a nice smile, always a smile on her face. And anyway, that's my shout out. Gonna miss Courtney. I'm gonna miss seeing her downtown. I know this is kind of a sad one, but sure. But praying for her and her family and Lucy and all of them that are part of her. So
yeah.
Anyway,
Brother
Eric. Yeah. So with that said, you know, just appreciate you guys so much again. Appreciate you as well, Sean, for being a part of Full Buddy Cast and doing this. It's been a nice little adventure we've been able to do together. Hope everyone has a great week. Hit us up with any questions. We're, I know that Seth Loop listens and a few others, and hit us up with anything you want to really puzzle Sean with.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, I don't know the answer until you ask the question.
Hit him where it hurts.
It's easy. If it's beer, it's easy.
All right, everyone. Thanks so much for listening. Have a great week and take care.
All right, cheers.
Making your way in the world today, you really need a pod. Why don't you put your headphones in and give this one a shot? Wouldn't you like to just listen away and go to a place where everybody knows who you are? Listen to Two Guys Brew, ha ha. Cold Street Brewery and Full Buddy Cast, two of the greatest names. Why don't you go